All right. All right. I'm Kevin Garcia, aka the Puerto Rican Kid KG. This is Fight Hype. And today we have top Golden Boy lightweight prospect, soon to be contender, 16-0, 12 knockouts, coming off a statement win, Floyd Kid Austin Schofield. Thank you for joining us today, man.
Thank you.
For sure. Look, it's good to see you again. There's a lot going on. Let's get right into it. So we all saw the fight get canceled. Talk to us about what happened with Jojo Diaz. My first question to you really is: did you ever discuss the fight with him personally as it was being negotiated? Like, did y'all ever get on the phone?
Yeah, we were DMing each other. We got DMs. We were trying to set it up for February, March, but he ended up getting a fight for February. And I'm not gonna really speak too much on it because I really don't know necessarily what happened, but I hear just rumors. I hear that he wanted 500,000 for the fight, and it's like, I mean, you didn't make weight your last fight, so it's kind of like hard to make demands when you haven't been, on a steady road and that discipline to where you can call shots like that. Like it's not like he's the champion anymore. It's like you got to work your way back up to them type of paydays. And I mean, I believe we was both getting paid a good amount for the fight. So I mean, that's on him and his team to discuss. The offer's still on the table. I mean, we could still fight, but that's on him to get his stuff right after his fight.
Yeah. Do you think he outpriced himself? And if so, why?
Oh, for sure. I mean, because don't get me wrong. Well, I can't really say that because he is out going out the door, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like he kind of needs those type of paydays, but it's the wrong type. This is not the fight where you calling for 500,000 just yet. I mean, I'm still trying to work my way up to 500,000. So, you know, plus he's been like, I won't say he's been like he don't deserve it, but he hasn't really proven it yet again to where he needs to get those paydays again. I feel like after this fight, he wouldn't be getting those type of paydays. But anyway, I feel like Phil somebody different and he would have, proved himself and got back to that point where he was the old Jojo Diaz. He could have got a 500,000, but for this fight, I don't think it's not gonna be possible. It's like 150,000, you don't want to take it or leave it.
Yeah, yeah. No, and I think the fans definitely appreciate your honesty there because sometimes, fans aren't privy to the negotiations as they shouldn't be. But I think it's enlightening sometimes to hear what kind of money fighters are calling for and
Yeah.
what's actually on the table. Do you
That's a
think it's
problem. I feel like they worrying about too much about the money. It's like get the fight, do what you're supposed to do in the fight, then you set your price. I mean, you asking too much money or you having, where you can't make fights happen because, it's not enough money or it's too less of money. Take the opportunity and prove to everybody that you worth that amount that you call it for.
yeah, no, for sure. You think it's a fight that'll ever happen?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it has to. It has to. And like if they're trying to give me a step up in the Golden Boy roster, I feel like that would be a name. But if he don't take it, I'm more than happy to fight Zepeda next. I mean, it is what it is. There's plenty of fighters that I can fight besides Jojo Diaz, but I feel like that's a fight people would want to see because we both like, action packed. It would have been an exciting fight.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I heard you, or I read you said, March is still on. You're gonna be fighting. So you just mentioned Cepeda. How likely is that fight, or are there any other names that are coming to you as potential opponents in March?
I feel like that fight will happen later on in the year, for sure. I think it will happen this year. But as of right now, I know they threw Hector Tana Hector. I don't know his last name. It's hard to pronounce. Tanahata. And there was one other guy, forgot his name, but there's only two people that they threw out so far. So we just waiting to see who signs the contract.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, hopefully, you do get in the ring with Jojo Diaz. I think everybody wants to see the fight. So, and like you said,
Yeah.
action packed. So let's see what happens. On a different note, I was minding my business on Twitter, and I came across a tweet about like a month ago, something like that. And Jake Paul, he tagged Oscar, and
Yeah.
he asked for Oscar and him to potentially negotiate a fight between you and an MVP lightweight top prospect, Ashton H2O Silv. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that is, guys, they gotta like. Don't get me wrong. I like Jake Paul. I like what he's doing. I like what he's doing for these fighters. That wasn't able to, get put on. and the fights that the events that he's putting on. But know your place. I know that kid from the amateurs, and when I knew him as a football player, and you can't be both. I mean, you can't give your all to boxing and your all to football. And it's like I gave my all to boxing since I was 2 years old. That's all I've been doing. So it's like it's cool and all, for laughs and giggles, but when it's time to get in that ring and you realize that you're there with a real fighter, somebody who in there not for the money, but for the legacy, it won't be all fun and games then. So I'm cool with the fight. I mean, the kid, he's slick. He got some power. So I feel like it'll be a good fight between two prospects. I'm ready for whatever. If Oscar and them want to make that fight happen, let's be it. But I guarantee you, Jake would think differently about him after that fight.
So you think it's a little bit undercooked, not something that should happen just yet, for him at least?
Uh, I don't think he'll ever be ready, to be honest.
Talk your
No,
talk, Floyd.
that's just my opinion because it's like, of course, humbly, like he's just not on my level. I
Respectfully.
mean, him and his promoter, I feel like they take boxing as a game. Like this ain't no game. And I'm not gonna say it's undercooked because I'll take the fight if they offer a fight, but I feel like he ain't ready and he'll never be ready. That's just my opinion though.
Period. Period. Have y'all ever, so I know you said because that was actually one of my questions. Have your paths crossed? And you said you remembered him from the amateurs. Have you ever been in the ring with him?
No, I've been to his gym to spar, so he know me. Him and his dad know me. So, you
Yeah.
know,
We'll see. We'll see. I look at 135, there's a lot of great fighters. There's three vacant belts. Shakur's the only champ. What's your path to a champ if you had to a championship fight, if you had to get there outside of Jojo Diaz? What do you think happens?
I think how I picture how I want to get to it. I want to because I'm in the WBA. I think that's the only one I'm ranked in as of right now. I gotta go check. I'm number 5, so I would want probably Edwin De Los Santos since he's right above me at number 4. Then I think. If they threw Frank Martin out there, I would take it and Zepeda. I don't know who else is. Those are only names I know in the top 5, really. I don't know if Tank's still there. I think Tank got the super belt. I don't know. But I would go in that order. I would want to go from 4, 3, and then Zepeda.
Yeah.
But if they want to give me Zepeda right off the bat, I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm not complaining.
There you go. There you go. But you said Zepeda, he could be a potential opponent for March. Yeah.
No, not for March, for the
Not for
end of
March.
the year. Nah. That's just like throwing it out there to see if like would y'all? But I know they wouldn't. They would probably say that for the end of the year. But I know that fight is most likely 80% is probably gonna happen this year.
Yeah. There's been a lot of talk about, fighters outpricing themselves, and a lot of it's coming from Golden Boy right now. What
Hmm.
are your thoughts on Ryan Haney not happening and him deciding to go the Rolly route, which also is not happening apparently?
That would have been a good fight, but I mean, to be honest, if we're not talking about money, I feel like Ryan should have went after Rolly only because Rolly's a champion. If he would have went after Devin and lost, he wouldn't have gained nothing but a couple mil. With Rolly, you could probably still gain a mil with the title, and then you get more mills because you're the champion. So I feel like it's smarter for Ryan to go after Rolly, but I would have loved to see that Haney fight though. I feel like Haney would have possibly beat him. I don't know. That's just my opinion, but that would have been a good fight to see. And what's up with this Ramirez thing? I keep hearing him and Ramirez might fight.
My next question. My next
He keeps
question.
switching. He keeps switching everything up.
So I'll offer you clarity from what I've seen online. Obviously, being outside that bubble, nobody's told me this personally. I'm just seeing the tweets, the posts. They're happening today, actually. So it looked like he wanted Rolly. Oscar said Rolly outpriced himself. He also said Pitbull Cruz outpriced himself, and that a fight with Jose Ramirez seemed to be the next option. But Ryan came out and said that no, he's not fighting Jose Ramirez. He literally just that happened today. So I mean, I guess my question for you is, from what I've seen, it appears that your relationship with Oscar and Golden Boy is pretty solid. It seems like you guys work well together. What do you
Yeah.
think about everything that's going on over there and Ryan and Oscar not agreeing on who he should fight?
I feel like everybody's just too picky. They being divas at this point. It's boxing. Like, it ain't how it used to be. Just fight. Just fight. And you want the money so bad, the money gonna come when you put your all into the boxing. Like it's destined to come when you fight, the top guys or, once you start doing all this pickiness and, trying to set rules and regulations, and you want this much and who's the A side, B side, it complicates things where fights don't get made and fans aren't happy. So I'm not really with none of that. I just want to fight. I just like fighting. That's just me. Like I'm I just like feeling punches and punching people. So I know when I get to that point, fans are gonna love watching my fights because I'm gonna give my all and I'm gonna fight whoever. Or I don't care. Like now, no, don't get me wrong, know your worth. I'm not just saying like for instance, for like Ryan to go in and fight, you know, Javante again and only ask for 200 grand because like there's a chance you ain't gonna win that fight and you might need a little money to sit on. So I'm not saying not to know your worth, but be reasonable. Like be reasonable.
Yeah. Do you think fighters in this era, do you think they have like an overinflated perception of their worth, and it's maybe costing them opportunity?
Yeah, I feel like fighters nowadays, they feel like they're I ain't trying to curse on the interview, but they just big headed. They feel like they're someone they not really. In reality, where they ain't really fight nobody to be calling for 20 mil. Like it's just ridiculous for the amounts they be asking for. And if they don't get that amount, they not fighting. You know, I feel like for a championship fight, 2 mil is enough. Like that's a good amount of money. It's not about how much money you make it. It's about what you do with it after. Are you investing? Are you doing, stuff that's gonna make your money grow? But I mean, I just don't I just don't see the reason to be asking for that much money. I mean, don't get me wrong, grab all the money while you can, while you're still in the sport. But if you doing all this and fights not getting made, what's the point? Like if they don't want to fight, if they don't want to give you 20 million, ask for five, you know, set
You
your
think,
price. Don't set it all the way at the top.
yeah, I'm pricing yourself potentially. Do you think it's related to like what some would call quote unquote the Mayweather effect?
Uh See, I don't want to put Mayweather in it because if you look, Mayweather earned it.
No, for sure.
Mayweather,
For sure.
Mayweather
Let me
earned all that.
clarify that. Let me clarify that for you. I'm not saying anything Floyd did was wrong. I just think Floyd was really good on the business side
Yeah,
and
I get
get,
what you're saying.
go
Now
ahead.
everybody thinks that they need to be getting that paid that same amount when they didn't put the same amount of work in as Floyd. Floyd grinded, what was he in the gym 12 hours a day or something like that? Like
Hard work and dedication.
for years. He didn't start off getting paid 20 million. He had to work his way up there. And I feel like you said, it's that Floyd Mayweather effect. People think that because Floyd getting paid that much, that they need to get paid that much without putting in the same work. And that's not how the universe works. Not even close.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we see it a lot, right? You hear these crazy amounts like we were just talking about, and fighters unfortunately not getting the fights that they're after. So, I mean, your side, random question. I'm just curious how your mind's working, and I'm sure the fans would be interested in this. I'm not trying to back into a corner here, but you're signed to the same promo company. I know you're at 135. I'm sure, and I'll let you answer. I'm sure you have plans at 135. But is your plan to stay at 135 until you win a belt, or could you see yourself maybe moving up a little bit in weight? Signed to the same promo company. Could you ever see yourself in the ring with Ryan?
Yes. And don't get me wrong, I would love to take that fight to humble him in a way. Um,
Ryan Garcia.
yeah, I would
Okay.
love that. Yeah. I would love that fight. I would move up for that fight. I would move up for any fight, to be honest. But at the end of the day, I want to collect all the belts at 135. I want to collect every belt in every weight division until I stop growing. You know. Now I'm not saying like because I'm still young, I'm still growing. So I don't know like if one night I might just blow up and won't be able to make 135. That's a different talk. But like as long as I can make 135, I'm gonna stay here. But if I feel like I have to move up, that's the only way I'm moving up in weight. When y'all hear Floyd, moved up to 140 or 147, that's because he grew, not because I'm not disciplined or nothing like that. Like, but my plan is to stay at 135 to collect all the belts and to make big fights.
So when you say, you would like to take that fight to humble him, it just begs the question, what kind of relationship do you have with Ryan? And what makes you say, what about Ryan makes you feel like he needs some humility?
I don't know that dude. I don't know Ryan. I just like we just got the same promoter. That's all. But it's like he just I don't know. It's just something about him. Like it's something about all these fighters that just make me like y'all. I ain't gonna say the word, but you know the word I'm trying to use. Y'all just a bunch of like
Yeah.
just fight, bro. Like it made me mad because like you turn on the old classic fights, everybody was fighting everybody, and I ain't trying to sound like an old head, but that's what it is. Like it wasn't. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was about the money. People got to get paid, but at the end of the day, it wasn't. It was about legacy and the blood and the glory. And I feel like fighters nowadays they lost it. And like with the Ryan fight, like I just want to show these fighters like what it's like to be in an old school fight. Like
Take
you
him to
see
the
me,
woodshed.
huh?
I said, take him out to the woodshed.
Yeah, like you see my one of my fights, I got cut, and so what? It's a fight. I deal with it after. Like in the locker room, I felt like I was finna pass out. It felt like something just hit me in my head. But in the fight, like it's a fight. Forget everything around you, forget the money. Just go in there, entertain the fans, and have fun.